call the City Council special meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman?
Yes.
Michelangelo?
Here.
Vining?
Here.
Evans? Oh, I'm sorry, they gave me the wrong one. So I'm going to have to wing it here. Let me see. Okay, sorry about that. Germaine?
Here.
Lamore?
Present.
Felder?
Here.
Yeah, it's all wrong, sorry. Mayor Clark?
Here. Ask you all please rise to the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
As we gather this evening, let us clear our minds and focus on the task in front of us, to make decisions for the betterment of the community.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, first item, please.
First item is citizen comments not related to an agenda item.
Thank you. Are there any citizens here this evening or those present that wish to make comments not related to an agenda item? Any those present? Seeing none. Next item, please.
The next item is under council action, item 2099, PUD agreement 1003, 1007, and 1023 East Elm Avenue.
Mr. Pesto, I'm not sure if you have an introduction. I know that this is coming to work session, but up to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a brief introduction. We did hold a public hearing on Monday, the July 16th, regarding the proposed PUD at the addresses referenced on East Elm. And we do have one item for just possible little change with that. I might look to the city attorney to talk a little bit about just a small language change.
Sure. Mr. Buds.
Your Honor. Sorry about that. Your Honor, there was some discussion about some additional language which I have proposed to include in the agreement. It's on page 2 of the agreement in the large section A. There are then 5 numbered paragraphs. Below the 5th numbered paragraph is a paragraph that begins furthermore. About halfway down, you'll see a sentence that ends for the respective components of the development. The proposed additional language is, additionally, all development, use, and improvement of the property shall be substantially consistent with the River Raisin East Corridor Heritage Plan and the character of the surrounding area, including the River Raisin Battlefield National Park. That's the proposed additional language, which is based upon the nature of the project and its relationship in terms of its design to that corridor plan and to the development. I think the plans would show that out, but I think it is also an additional language that could be added to further clarify that issue.
Yeah, see if there's any comments from council. I know that I don't know exactly what the item was, but we've brought this item up before about having that inclusion, and as we start thinking about this in the future, we'll have probably opportunities to keep that phrase at hand because it does mirror to many things that we're doing. So I understand what the adjustment is. If there's any other questions, if not, it's a motion being ordered.
One small question.
Councilman Felder.
The process to amend this, if they were to come back and because I don't believe that there's anything in here currently about allowing retail business to take place on the property. If they were to come back and request that, what would be the process? Would they be able to amend it?
Mr. Butts.
Your Honor, yes. So the PUD agreement, in the event of a change in proposed use, can come back to the city for a possible amendment. So it would require an amendment to this agreement, but that is certainly something that's contemplated and considered.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that the PUD agreement for 1003, 1007, 1023 East Elm Avenue as revised be approved.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Michelangelo, supported by Councilman Felder on item 2099, the PUD agreement as stated and amended be approved. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman?
Yes.
Michelangelo?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Germaine?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item.
The next item is item 2103, approve engagement letter with Foster Swift to represent the city regarding the DTE taxable valuation appeal.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pastor, I know our city assessor, Sam Geitch, did make a presentation at the work session, but maybe a review would be good, just where we stand on this and for the council.
Again, I think just reiterating what you had mentioned, that Mr. Geis was here on Monday, talked about a number of the complex issues associated with the DTE Energy's taxable value appeal, and in part the reason for recommending the city to retain Foster Swift and Jack Van Covering as the lead attorney in this case, given his background with a number of complicated taxable valuation appeals he's done, and more specifically his experience in dealing with energy plants, coal-fired plants in particular. So,
Questions for Mr. Pastu or about this item? Seeing none, motion be in order then.
Your Honor,
Councilman Lamore.
I recommend that we accept a letter of engagement from Foster Swift to represent the city regarding DTE Energy's taxable value appeal and authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the city.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Lamore, supported by Councilwoman Whitman on item 2103, the engagement letter as stated, for the mayor and clerk to sign. Other conversation? No further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Michaelangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Jermaine,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is item 2104, consideration to approve demolition bids.
Thank you, Mr. Pastu.
thank you, Your Honor. City administration is recommending City Council to approve essentially two agreements related to the 27 home demolitions that were bid, and with the opening on July 9th. The first action is to approve agreement with J. Keith Construction in the amount of $39,942 for 3 buildings within the city that were identified, as we talked about in the work session on Monday. And then second larger contract is with Salem Bean Trucking and Excavating in the amount of $431,129 for most of the work. The other 24 homes, those are the ones more related to the National Park Michigan Natural Resource grant that we've been working with, as well as some MISHTA funds that we had secured through a grant for some demolitions. Again, provide a appropriation of $20,000 in contingency, authorize mayor and clerk treasurer to sign on behalf, and then also authorize the assistant city manager finance director to amend the major street fund budget by $35,000 and transfer $100,000 from last year's unspent allocation into the current year to cover all of that. The $35,000 are essentially the homes between Front and are on the railroad there on Front Street, between the 2 railroads that were purchased earlier this year.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to accept the home demolition bids that were opened on July 9th, 2018, and the 5 conditions that have been laid out by the city administration.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Michaelangeli, supported by Councilman Lamore on item 2104, the approval of the demolition bids and items as stated. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Michaelangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Jermaine,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is 2098, consideration to award professional services agreement for Lazy Boy sub-area plan.
Mr. Pastu, background, please.
Yes, the city administration is requesting council to approve a professional service agreement with MKSK for the Lazy Boy sub-area plan. Back in June 4th, the council had approved a similar proposal with Netterfeld of Grand Rapids to perform this work. Soon after the approval, they indicated to us, Mr. Green in particular, that a key member of the team assigned to that project would be leaving the firm, and they gave us an opportunity to reconsider and meet their other individuals. We interviewed their new team, and then MKSK with individuals identified as the interview team, and it was our feeling to go with MKSK. They're partnering with Land Use USA. We're familiar with having done our downtown target analysis, but also Manick and Smith do a lot of the engineering work. And they've also done similar work with Lazy Boy on their world headquarters that were built a few years ago. And so with that, we're asking council to approve MKSK, but also rescind the prior action regarding Netterfeld on June 4th.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we approve the professional service agreement with MKSK for the Lazy Boy sub-area plan, rescind the prior approval with Netterfeld Incorporated, and authorize the transfer of budgeted funds from fiscal year 2017-18 to fiscal year 2018-19.
Support.
There's a motion by Councilman Nicolai, supported by Councilman Whitman on item 2098, the agreement on the Lazy Boy sub-area plan with the notations and adjustments made. Any comment? Or yes, Councilman Lamore.
Yes, Your Honor. Just wanted to confirm this, that by approving this, we are not, from the sounds of it sounds like we're rescinding the previous agreement that we had made with Netterveld. So that does not undermine the plan to have the study. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We would still go forward with it, but the professional consultant would be MKSK, yes.
Yeah, because I just want to make it known that I did disagree with the study to begin with, but by agreeing here, I'm not, it has nothing to do with that previous disagreement. It's just basically that the services have been changed to a different vendor.
Yes, as Mr. Pastu said, their original agreement was there to continue and by council vote. It's a matter of who's going to be managing it, is what the adjustment is with this motion. Is that correct, Mr.?
Yes, absolutely.
Pastu?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Other comments or questions? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Igangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Jermaine,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is item 2088, wastewater system corrective action plan part 1, professional engineering consulting services.
Mr. Pastu.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe back in late June, Mr. Barry Leroy had talked with council in a work session regarding this project that was going to be necessary to do a wastewater corrective action plan. They solicited proposals from a number of engineering firms to perform the work. As we talked, it was going to be somewhat pricey. Fishbeck, Thompson, Carr, and Huber were the consultants recommended in the amount of $169,115, requesting appropriation of $250,000 because as the project goes on, there may be additional work that may be needed based on their findings in this first phase. And so we did budget for this prior year, $200,000, and so it's the initial budget is within what was established for it. So.
Any questions or comments from council for administration? Seeing none, motion be in order.
Your Honor.
Councilman Lamore.
I'd motion that we approve the Fishbeck, Thompson, Carr, and Huber Incorporated Professional Engineering Consulting Services proposal for the City of Monroe Wastewater System Corrective Action Plan.
Support.
There's a motion by Councilman Lamore, supported by Councilman Nicolai on item 2088, the wastewater system corrective action plan and consultant services agreement as presented. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Igangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Jermaine,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Next item.
The next item is the consent agenda.
Good. So on the consent agenda, are there any items on the consent agenda that council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? And Mr. Pastu, I think you have an item also before we move forward as well.
Yes, Your Honor, if we could withdraw item 2050, the First Street reconstruction, construction management contract. Just a little background on that. We received the MDOT bids. This is the project on Front Street from Harrison to Washington. The bids came in excess of 10% over the budget amount. And in talking with Mr. Lewis, Mr. Sell, and myself this morning, I'm recommending that we not go forward with the project at this point in time and look to rebid it later, possibly later this fall for work that would happen in the spring.
So for this, in review, with the request we'll need a motion to withdraw item 2050 at the administration's request. With that in mind, as that comes forward, is there other items on the consent agenda the council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? If there's none, then I probably should motion regarding item 2050 first.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we withdraw item 2050, the First Street resurfacing construction management contract from the consent agenda.
Support.
The motion by Councilman Akalangi, supported by Councilwoman Germaini on item 2050B, withdrawn from the consent agenda. We'll come back to the consent agenda, remaining items. I'm not.
Okay.
Okay. Because I think that's an outlook to either the clerk or Mr. Bloods, but removing that, and I haven't asked the public if they have withdrawals. I guess we could approve the consent agenda.
As we usually do, and pull
Okay.
that item like we normally
Okay.
do.
All right. So we'll hold that.
We can do that.
Here, then I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 2050.
Councilman Germaini, is that sufficient? Okay.
Yes.
So before we take that vote, I wanted to ask if there's any items on the consent agenda those present here this evening wish to have pulled for further discussion. Seeing none, there is a motion. In a second, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Echoangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Germaini,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Sorry,
Your Honor,
I did that backwards. Councilman Akalangi.
I'll make a motion that we withdraw item 2050, the First Street resurfacing reconstruction management contract.
Second.
Okay, it's R2. Again, now we'll take the motion on 2050, which is motion to, it's already been withdrawn.
Rescind. We want to, Matt?
I guess at this point, it's to, my opinion would be, Your Honor, to
No.
not approve essentially
Yeah.
that agreement. at
Then
this
change
point
the
in time.
wording on the motion, to not approve item 2050.
That makes sense. We'll look back to Councilman.
Yes.
Either. I think they're both there.
Yeah.
They're both nodding yes.
Okay.
Okay, there's a motion by Councilman Michelangelo and Councilwoman Germaini on item 2050 that the resurfacing construction management contract not be accepted. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Echoangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Germaini,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Next
So-
item.
I have no further items, Your Honor.
So we still have council comments, and we'll start. Councilwoman Whitman, you're sounding much better, and it appears you're feeling much better, so thank you for being here, and any comments this evening?
My only comment is I would like to apologize for having to miss one day, and I look forward to being healthy and here for the rest of the time. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Yeah,
Councilman Michelangelo?
Your Honor, my apologies for the inconvenience on Monday due to a family situation, but I appreciate the council's flexibility. And while Barry's here, I just have one quick question. Periodically, I monitor on on NOAA's website the algae bloom in Lake Erie, and it seems like this year it's closer to the west shore of Lake Erie and it's further north than Toledo. Not quite to Monroe, but kind of in between, which is kind of unusual because last year it was pretty much around where the Maumee River was at. Do we have, what's our strategy for that?
Mayor Council, Barry Leroy, Director of Water and Wastewater. As far as I noticed the same thing, it's very eerie, and it's kind of it's right in by Erie Township. It's south of us because we have real-time monitoring equipment that gives us a head start on changing treatment techniques and modifying treatment to handle that. Plus, we test weekly for microcystin at our water plant. But that's really the protocol we have in place. We use we have a DEQ approved protocol that we have to follow for microcystin and how to handle it. That follows the EPA guidelines. So With that being said, we haven't noticed any issues yet. We just started a surface water treatment sampling for microsystems with the as part of a grant with the health department, and Ludapure is observing a little bit of microsystem, but nothing significant. So both Monroe and Frenchtown's plants, we haven't had any issue, but it's parked right in between the Maumee Bay, I agree with you, and south of us. So, but that's our strategy at this point, is we use ozone. Ozone's a very powerful oxidant that handles that very well and takes it out.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Vining.
No comment, Your Honor.
Okay. Councilwoman Jermaine.
No comment.
Councilman Lamore.
Welcome back, council people. Glad to see you here. Welcome home.
Councilman Felder.
Just a quick reminder, this Saturday, the city and the River Raisin Watershed Council, the River Raisin Legacy Project is having a river cleanup at 9 a.m. at Soldiers and Sailors Park. We're doing a little bit more this year than we had in the past, so come on to that. And before our next meeting is going to be the fair, so hopefully we'll see you all there. Some good stuff coming up.
Just want to make another comment. I know I made it at the last meeting regarding the demolition bid award and the projects. And I want to give kudos to Toby Worrell and the staff in the chart that was put out. It was definitely helpful in understanding what all the projects we have to do, what projects line they fall under, whether it's a DNR trust fund, general fund, MISTA, from the railroad closing. So it was good to see you. We saw Toby today at the pension board meeting as well, and he's definitely ready to get going, and I think you'll see a lot of activity in this adjustment in our, not only the corridor plan, but also the other areas that are within our community that we've been striving to remove some of the blighted homes, and I'm sure there'll be additional items we work with. So just want to give credit for the report and also the chart. So Mr. Pastu, I think also there's one other item we were discussing was going to be mentioned at the last meeting, but I know the city manager wants to make sure everybody gets this information collectively at the same time as we work forward with the public safety assessment and where we're going. So maybe an update, Mr. Pastu.
I'm gonna just hand you a draft. It's ready to go. I just need to add one more exhibit to it. But you know, certainly the intent is to get it out here within the next few days and have it before council for approval probably in September. But the intent is to have the work completed so that we can incorporate some of the recommendations with the proposed budget for the next fiscal year as it comes forward. So I'll hand it out to you before as we leave, just so you can take a look at it. But about a 9-page document, a couple of tables here and there. So
Thank you, and council, please take a little time, look at it. There might be some thoughts on there. Get back with the city manager with those. As he said, he's got an item yet he's kind of finalizing on that, so there's a little bit of time to take a review of that and give him a call or forward along the information that you may have. Anything else, Mr. Pester?
no, I think that's it.
And I went past the clerk treasurer in order here, but Clerk Treasurer Lavoy.
That's okay. Just a reminder that absentee ballots for the August primary are still available, so please contact the clerk's office if you're in need of one. And we do have parking, short-term parking along the sidewalk in the city parking lot near the drop box. So if you just need to run in either to drop something in the drop box or to get your absentee ballot, please feel free to use those spaces. They'll be available through the election.
Very good. I guess next, is there any comments from those present here this evening? Comments? Seeing none. Motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion from Councilwoman Moore, supported by Councilwoman Germaine to adjourn. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Whitman,
Yes.
Echoangeli,
Yes.
Vining,
Yes.
Germaine,
Yes.
Lamore,
Yes.
Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Thank you all for being here.